If you've ever struggled to talk about sex with your partner and it's like this one taboo thing that you can't talk about, then today's video is going to help you bring it up in a way that will work for everybody involved. I am Céline Remy, the Intimacy Angel.
And I'm Kevin Anthony, the Truth Warrior. And if you've ever been nervous about having a talk about sex, then make sure that you like, share, and subscribe.
Ultimately, your relationship should be a place where you have safety, respect, integrity, and you can bring up any subject without having repercussions or things that will go down really, really bad. Now, we understand that not everyone has created those foundations, and so sometimes it's a little bit harder to go back to the beginning to where you're supposed to have started. But it's not impossible. And we are going to give you 6 steps to bring up the topic of sex when it's something that you have not been sharing much with your partner. Number 1, don't surprise your partner with a sex talk. Don't just bring it on them like, here's to when not to talk about sex. When one is out the door getting ready. When you're in the car going to a party and meeting with friends, somehow like the being in the car is the people think is the best place to air out all of their dirty laundry. Like, no. In bed, before they're about to fall asleep, or if they're tired or hungry, or before, during, or after sex. Like, no, these are not good time to bring up the topic of sex.
Every one of those has happened to me.
Whoa.
Every one of those happened to me. At some point, a partner wanted to have a talk, or just as my eyes closed on the pillow, or while we were in the car driving somewhere, or right before a sex party.
Yeah.
Not good.
So the solution is to say, hey, I'd love to have a conversation about our sex life, or let's discuss, let's brainstorm, or I want to talk about something that's vulnerable, or like I'm nervous about bringing something up, like, hey, when would be a good time? And then make a commitment to show up for that conversation. Say, I'll probably need a half hour or an hour, and show up for that.
All right, step number 2 is to pick one topic and stick with that. Now, that can sometimes be hard when you're discussing sex because it might go off in different directions. But in general, start with one thing that you want to address. Don't go all over the place. And this thing too. Oh, and by the way, there's this other thing too. And you know what?
Right. 5 years ago, you didn't.
Just keep it to one topic. It's okay if that topic leads to other related topics as you go through the course of the conversation, but try not to let it stray too far.
Well, and you know what? You can have another conversation for another topic at another time. It's so much easier if the conversation goes easier and good that you want to have this type of conversation again rather than trying to do it all at once and that you mess it up. Okay. Number 3, you start this conversation with appreciation. Just because you feel nervous, the first thing that people want to do is just jump right in, like trying to get it off their chest. But usually it doesn't come out as feeling really good, and usually you're not feeling very connected with the person. So if you can start with appreciation, things that you're grateful for, appreciate about each other or the relationship, it will help you build a connection and build intimacy where you can both feel more relaxed, loved, and seen, and comfortable to talk about the uncomfortable.
This is not supposed to be a complaint session. This isn't where you get to dump out all of the frustrations and resentments that you have. That is not the point of having a conversation about sex. The point is to talk openly and lovingly about what's working and maybe what's not working and where you might be able to do better, how you might be able to get each other's needs met. If you turn it into the type of talk where it's just you venting all your frustration, your partner is no longer going to want to have these talks with you.
I love that you brought up the whole idea about sharing, be vulnerable. What is it that you love? What is it that you might want? You might not even know yet exactly, but remember, you're on the same team. And so you want to brainstorm things together. You want to come up with solutions together And it's okay if something doesn't feel good. Like, you want to tell your partner, you don't want your partner to think they're doing a fantastic job and then keep doing that for the rest of your life. No, you want to be able to mention when things are not going the way you want. So that's kind of a step 4 about being curious about what you like, most importantly, what your partner likes and dislikes. You don't even have to bring it into you guys' lovemaking. It could just be like more general, like, I really love it when I have my neck kissed, or when this is happening. So you're not even saying when you do this. I mean, if you have a particular thing that your partner is doing and that you love, please make sure that you mention that. But you can keep it to us just like certain acts and facts that you like. And if you can be curious about just wanting to hear, like, what does your partner love? What do they need? Some ways of saying that could be like, I love it when, or it's so hot when you do this, or when this happens. So again, you kind of try to focus more on the positive part.
Yes. All right, the next step is to give suggestions. And this is really true of anything in life. If you just state what all the problems are, but you never actually give any idea of what some possible solutions might be, you're not going to get very far, right? So if you have some ideas, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, sometimes there are problems where you're not sure what to do about it. But if you have an idea of what it would take to solve the problem, then offer that as a potential suggestion. Don't say, this is how we are going to solve it, because your partner may be like, no. But offer it as a possible solution, a suggestion, and then be open to feedback on it.
So let's say that, for example, we'll take something that's pretty common where she wants more foreplay than what he's doing, like she wants more attention. So you could say like, I really love it when you take the time to explore my body, when you touch every inch of me before you even reach my pussy, or I feel so much better when you've really given me the time to warm up before you penetrate me. Like, this kind of ways of saying is so much better. Why don't we try 20 minutes like head to toe massage before? Like, things like that will inspire the other person. And then last but not least,
end on something positive. So try to end on something positive that's working well. Focus on the connection between the two of you. The worst thing ever is having a talk about something intimate like sex and then walking away from that talk worse than you came into it.
That's not the point. No.
Good.
So a positive note could be you end in a hug and a kiss. Or you go try out what you've just thought would be a good experiment to try, and see if it's working, or brainstorm some more than while in the action. But at least end with appreciation for having showed up for this talk, for having shared openly, and for being willing to listen and put, new things into action. Alright, we hope today's video was helpful and inspiring. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.